95.7 FM. I'm Kevin Kietzman in the seat for the next hour, leading you up to the Vince Show on KCMO Talk Radio. We got a nice show lined up for you. Coming up in about 30 minutes, I'll have some comments about Mayor Q, his outstanding interview earlier today on Monday in the morning. Terrific stuff after he made comments on CNN about Trump using the National Guard in Washington, D.C. So we will get into all of that coming up in about 30 minutes. We got a lot of Chiefs news out there we'll talk about with Mark Van Sickle on the show today, including apparently a hearing for Rashee Rice, wide receiver, that could be coming up at the end of September, which is leading us to believe that maybe he'll play the first few games before some sort of a hearing with the NFL. Mark has all the details on that. We will get to it. The Boston Celtics sell for a record $7.4 billion. Why this is important to you, I'll explain it to you, as the Celtics have a minority owner that is also a minority owner of the Kansas City Royals. He's a local person that, well, he was a local person and has made billions at Bain Capital and just made a whole bunch of money selling the Boston Celtics, and would undoubtedly be the investment, real estate investment group around the Royals when they build a new ballpark. All of that tied together in one neat show with a shiny bow on it. We begin today with Taylor Swift on the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey Boys, and something that was completely watchable, interesting, funny, entertaining. It was great to hear Taylor Swift make comments like, yeah, Travis thought he could just sneak backstage and meet me because he knew the elevator lady. That's the most Travis Kelce story I've ever heard. From someone who covered the locker room for many years, was around Travis Kelce for quite some time. He was always just the affable, I think Travis is smart, but in his own sort of unique lane of smart. Like, he's really smart about the things he needs to be smart about and doesn't really care about the rest of the world. I need some of that in me. I have one of my 3 children is like that. Like, there's some intelligence there, but they know what they're smart at, they know what they like, and they just don't care about the rest of the world around them. I could probably use a little of that in my life, a little more balance, a little more forget that stuff. Don't let it bother you, just ignore it. Stick with what you know and like and don't worry about the rest, but I don't really have that in me. I think that's Travis Kelce, and I think some of that came out in the podcast, and I think she's obviously a highly intelligent, brilliant person, spectacular businesswoman, an absolute chameleon of a performer that has gone from child auditions to country music because it was the best on-ramp to the highway. She was very successful at that, said, I'm not getting boxed into this. I'm going to go do pop music, and started doing pop music. Then as she got older, her last album wasn't suicidal music, but it was certainly reflective and dire and not for me. But I'm not a hater of her music. I hear a lot of her songs, and I'm not going to change the channel. Doesn't bother me if it comes on in a restaurant. I'm not that person. I am surrounded in my life with 2 people that are on opposite ends of the spectrum. My wife cannot stand Taylor Swift. She just annoys her as a woman. More than anything else, she thinks her songs are whiny and bitchy about men, and she doesn't like it. And she's never going to forgive her, I don't think. Although there may be a pathway for that. I'll share it with you in a moment. My daughter grew up on Taylor Swift and loves her. She had about a 3-year gap where she fell out of favor. About the time my daughter was a senior in high school and off to college, was like, okay, I'm a grown-up girl now. I'm going to college. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan anymore. But then it became okay to be an adult and like Taylor Swift, not just the girls. My daughter was of the very first generation of young Swiftie fans and has always been on board. So I've had a front row seat to this forever. I got tickets for her to see her at T-Mobile Center before she was playing stadiums. Taylor Swift's been a conversation piece around our house forever, it seems like. It must have been 2010 or sooner. And it's all good. I have nothing but good things to say about her as an artist, a business person, whatever. I believe in art. I believe she should make the music she wants. I can't respect her enough for buying back her own music, re-recording it, screwing over the industry moguls that went out to get her. But as I've watched this whole career, it's the most conservative Republican career I've ever seen. Everything that she does, the way she runs her business, the way it's all operated, like it's all in line. She hates the corporation. She hates the man. It's classic textbook small business operator builds a $1 billion company. We love that about Taylor Swift. But she's had a few bad years. She said in a Netflix documentary that she regretted not blasting Donald Trump before the 2016 election. She got involved in politics about a year after that when Marsha Blackburn was running for Senate in Tennessee, who Taylor Swift said, Marsha Blackburn terrifies me because of her complete lack of support for all things for women. So this is a woman running for Senate, and Taylor Swift says she doesn't support women, that Marsha Blackburn doesn't. Specifically, women's issues, which is abortion, women's rights, which is abortion, LGBTQ+, which you can figure for yourself. And she referred to Marsha Blackburn as Trump in a wig, in a pejorative. She has not stopped. She's gone after Donald Trump. She said of Trump during the George Floyd riots, after stoking the fires of white supremacy and racism your entire presidency, you now have the nerve to feign moral superiority and threaten violence. When the looting starts, the shooting starts, with a question mark, we will vote you out in November. She sent that off to 280 million social media followers. An overwhelming majority of those are female, and a huge portion of them were not ready to vote yet. But come 2024, those girls that saw those tweets all those years were ready to vote. And Taylor Swift went out and in one day through social media set the record at vote.org for the number of people that signed up to vote. She got 32,000 people in one day to go sign up to vote. She tripled the record for 18-year-olds in the first hour. She also doubled the record for 18-year-olds in one day. The percentage that it went up for 18-year-olds total was 1,226%, according to one report. Media reports indicate that over 400,000 Swift fans registered to vote in the 2024 election for Kamala Harris because she implored them to go sign up. She did this repeatedly on social media. In this way, for many of us, she lives in the shadows. Your daughters may like her. You may hear the song in a restaurant. You may like her on with Travis Kelce. But behind the scenes, I'm going to tell you something. She got a spell on these girls. And she's doing it through social media where the parents don't see it and they don't know. And there's conservative parents everywhere that your daughters are being affected by this and you don't know it. They're not even of voting age yet. But they will be. And that's where she does it. She doesn't go on the Travis Kelce podcast and talk about Marsha Blackburn and hate Trump and abortion and LGBTQ+, and Trump's a racist. She doesn't do that. She does it in the neat little confines of the people that love her most. The ones that will follow her lead quietly, but militantly at the same time because they just go out in droves, and then they get a friend, and they get a friend, and they get a friend. If you're listening to this show right now, conservative politics and conservatism in America are important to you. They mean something. Taylor Swift is trying to stop you and everything you believe in. She's doing it in a way that you won't always see. She's that smart. She's that good. And the numbers, the receipts are there. They cannot be argued. Her impact was shown in one demographic in the last presidential election. Kamala Harris gained votes for the Democrats in one demographic category. We do these by gender, by race, by religion, by white collar, blue collar, college educated, non, all these different demographics, right? Okay? There's only one place that Kamala Harris gained in the 2024 election over 2020 for the Democrats, and that was white women. This was a black female candidate that gained with white women. There was only one demographic that she gained over Joe Biden. Now, you may say she would have gained that anyway, and she may have. The numbers may be much more than the 400,000. But 400,000 votes in a presidential election spread across the proper states? Because where is she most popular? Taylor Swift is most popular in the suburbs. She's most popular in the South. She's not the most popular in Seattle, where grunge music started. Probably not even L.A. or New York City. Not Chicago. No, it's the suburbs. It's the rural area. She has major impact and major influence. Taylor Swift has a chance to win me back. I like her. In many ways, I like her. I can't tell you how much I respect her. But she's on the other team. She's my same frenemy as Mayor Q. I hear Mayor Q on with Pete. I want to like the guy. He blocks me from social media. I don't like a lot of his politics, but I think I like the guy. I think I like Taylor Swift. She's grown up now. I didn't used to like Brittany Mahomes at all. I can tolerate Brittany Mahomes now. These young women go through things that you look at and you go, oh gosh, I just can't take it. It's too dramatic. But they grow up and they've grown up. And I like her. I really do. But she's not on our side. And her vision for America, at least to this point, was either uninformed or she thought, this is good for business. I've got these girls under my skin. I've got them all wrapped around my finger here. And they'll come along with me to do what I want them to do. That was the woke era. That was the era where everybody was supposed to think the same thing. I have hope that what we heard on this podcast was Taylor Swift saying, I'm really not partisan. Some of the things that I said in the past, I regret. She's not going to say that publicly, but maybe she does. Maybe she looks at it now and goes, it was all overblown. I was young, hormones, rage, all of those things. I'm a grown woman now. I've learned a lot more. I've seen the world. America's not a bad place. Trump isn't a racist. He's not evil. He's not a dictator. Maybe she's thinking those things. If she is, she's got a chance to take it all back with me, and I'll jump on the bandwagon. The date is December 7th. It's the night of the Kennedy Center honors that Trump announced yesterday, where we wrongfully thought Cindy Crawford was going in and not Broadway actor. Is it Michael Crawford, Mark?
Yes, Michael Crawford, former Phantom of the Opera lead.
The original Phantom of the Opera. That's cool. So we got that. We just figured Trump must be a supermodel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she can get it all back with me that night. And she doesn't have to say anything political. If she shows up at the Kennedy Center and honors George Strait and his contributions to country music, which is where she comes from, and sings a George Strait song and salutes him and stays completely out of politics, I'll take all of it back. Just show up and sing. Let everybody know that you're open to everyone and everything. A true liberal espouses complete and utter tolerance of all people, but they themselves never tolerate the right under any circumstances, for any reason. Even if it means, hey, my streets are safer, we're still not going to tolerate the right. Hey, the border's closed, that's good for us, we're still not going to tolerate the right. Oh, there's wars being ended around the world, we're still not going to tolerate the right. The economy's better, the stock market's up, my taxes are lower, we're still not going to tolerate the right. That's not truly opening up to all things. Taylor Swift's a grown woman. She's a billionaire. She's incredibly talented and gifted. She seems like a wonderful person. I think I'd love to have coffee with her. I don't think she'd be for me as a partner, but that's a whole different story. I need somebody. Well, my wife's to the right of me. I'll just tell you right now. She is, and she's awesome that way. She doesn't care for Taylor Swift. But if Tay-Tay shows up December 7th, because that show is about honoring, George Strait doesn't play that night. You go there and you honor these people. And the biggest people in the world come and recognize the biggest artists in the world. Nothing would speak more volumes. She doesn't have to get political. She doesn't have to go to Instagram. She doesn't have to register people to vote. She doesn't have to say a thing. If she shows up December 7th and plays for George Strait, tells me she's all grown up. And she realizes that the mistakes she made picking sides during the woke era in America will not age well. Her comments have not aged well, and they won't age well. It's a simple little deal. Let's go, Taylor. December 7th, Kennedy Center. I'm sure they would love to have you sing to George Strait. 913-408-7957. That, by the way, would be in front of the President of the United States, who will be hosting the show that night, as he announced yesterday. He can't just go. He's going to host. It'll be on television on CBS at a later date. They edit it down after it's over. Let's go, Taylor. I want to see you at the Kennedy Center. 913-408-7957. I'd love to hear your opinion on all of this next on KCMO.
Call Kevin Kietzman, 913-408-7957. Now on 95.7 FM.
Taylor Swift is playing in the hallway. I mean, not her actually, but one of her songs is on one of the other stations here at Cumulus, Kansas City. We're the only station that doesn't get played out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
For obvious reasons. People come to the building, you want music on everywhere.
Yeah.
You're a radio company, and we got great FM stations. So I just thought that was ironic. Second I step out of the studio, we got Taylor Swift in the hallway. We're taking your phone calls. We're starting today with Julie in Overland Park. Good morning, Julie. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Excellent. Thank you.
Great. My only comment that I was calling to say is before you say that you like Taylor Swift, everybody should go research her and find out she actually practices Satanism.
Yeah.
And go look into her ties with Marina Abramovic. It's pretty disgusting. So I hope that she just stays away and doesn't get involved in any politics or influence any, especially young people.
Well, what you're saying is I know absolutely nothing about. So I appreciate free speech in the airwaves. I don't know who that woman is that you just mentioned, and I don't know anything about Satanism with Taylor Swift. But if people want to go check it out, that's why God invented the internet.
That's exactly right. Well, you guys have a great day.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate it. Woo! There it is. And Pete thought I was going to bring it today. We got Julie in Overland Park. I like her. I like that a lot. Way to go, Julie. Excellent stuff. Let's check in with Jeff in Shawnee on KCMO Talk Radio. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. Actually, I'm out here in the Great Rocky Mountains in Colorado. But, hey, my question is, can we just quit talking about Taylor Swift? There again, I'm 61 years old, ex-construction worker. If you put a gun to my head and told me I'm going to pull the trigger, if you can't name a Taylor Swift song, I'd be pull the trigger. I go, Mundo plays her music. Mark knows who she is and follows her music. They're playing it in the studio down there. I don't get it, man. I'm not a 13-year-old white girl, man.
Well, you obviously don't have daughters either, right?
I got friends around me with daughters.
But that's not the same. I got people
you.
that have cats, but I don't know squat about cats. I almost said it.
Cats. I love cats, man. But no. I mean, it's just, God, can we make it just go away? It's Michael Jackson. It's a marketing tool.
And yet you're calling the radio saying stop talking about her. This is great. People call in here and say, could you please stop talking about this stadium issue? I'm like, but you just called to talk about it.
Yeah, but it's just like you guys covered, sports and government issues, and I don't.
This
know
was
who,
government. I just did a whole monologue on politics. Did you not hear the monologue? She got 400,000 new voters for Kamala Harris.
I know, man.
That's important to you. If politics is important,
if young white girls, man.
If conservatism matters to you, Taylor Swift matters to you. She's out to stop you. There it is. I got my first hang up. It took me 8 months.
And Taylor Swift.
I can't believe it took that long for somebody to hang up on me. Come on. Jeff in Colorado, you got to call me back, man. I'll talk with you. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I get it. You had a hard time backing it up, brother. Here's Mark in Shawnee. Hi, Mark.
Oh, my gosh. Hi, Kevin. Thanks for taking my call. I think was the first caller Julie?
Yes.
Was the first? Oh, my gosh. I'm standing out in the street. She just ran me over a few times. What I was going to say is what I like about Taylor Swift is the things that I appreciate in a woman, and that is the old-fashioned characteristics: cooks, sews. She's got this genuineness about her, and I'm not sailing along like, oh, I want to hear my Taylor Swift song. I got to tell you, she can throw down a beat. When I'm out there running that cemetery and I hear that song, man, look out. I got some one-handed stuff with that weed trimmer. You think I was 20 years old. But I got to tell you what I think is really –
Real quick. I'm up against the break. Real quick.
When they run in groups, they run together. When she gets with Kelsey, he's getting a special treatment. You can see it in their faces.
Okay, I got to stop you right there. That's awesome. Now, I get people ask me all the time, Kevin, you've had a podcast for 5 years. It's successful. Why are you going back onto radio? The last 30 minutes of my life was the best 30 minutes of this entire month. No, nothing's going to top this. That's why we do it. This is Uncanceled.
If it's happening in KCMO, it's on KCMO 95.7 FM. Here's Kevin Kietzman.
By the numbers, the New Heights podcast was a smashing success and will only grow over time. That's how podcasts work. In the first hour of the live stream, 1.3 million viewers were watching. That's a remarkable number. In the first hour of Joe Rogan, when Donald Trump was on, there were 900,000 watching. 59 million people eventually watched Donald Trump with Joe Rogan. This one is well over 10 million already. It's been less than 24 hours. It has a chance, because the Swifties will watch it 10 times each. It has a chance to be the single most viewed podcast in the history of the medium. It is believed, well, we know this, the top Joe Rogan podcast of all time, and again, it's because of time that's elapsed. This one was 7 years ago, not last year, was Elon Musk on with Joe Rogan, 69 million views to the Joe Rogan podcast with Elon Musk. I will not be surprised if this is the highest rated podcast that ever happens or on YouTube. I just can't see how it won't be. I think the other thing is people don't always pause it when they can't watch it all and they come back to it and reopen it. And every time you reopen it, you're going to get them another click. So the numbers can be misleading. It certainly does not mean 69 million people watched Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, but it means there were 69 million times that somebody opened it up and hit the play button. So it's a strange medium. It's different than others, but every medium there is out there has a different measurement. It's so unbelievable that this happens, that this is happening in Kansas City. And I said on my podcast earlier today, I didn't get into any of the stuff that I got into here, the politics of it, because I was doing other things. And the podcast topics are always different than the topics here. If you ever want to go listen to my podcast, it's Kevin Kietzman Has Issues, and it's always different content than what you hear on the radio show. Which it doesn't matter to you, but for me personally is the most difficult part of doing both things is to try to have different and fresh content each time. But I did mention that at the very start of my podcast today, I mentioned that this thing happened. A lot of people were watching it, and I believe this to be true as well. I think it's great for Kansas City, and this is my town, and I love this city, and I've lived here my whole life, and I grew up in a town that had a chip on its shoulder, and we felt like second fiddle to a lot of places. We used to feel like we were just flyover country. Nobody respected us. There was nothing here. We had to try to, you'd tell people you'd go on a vacation to take your kids to Texas or something, Six Flags in Dallas, and meet strangers. Where are you from? And you'd kind of go, Kansas City. And they go, oh. And they'd have this look like, what's there? Well, we know that the Chiefs weren't any good then. The Royals weren't particularly good at that time either when my kids were growing up. But they'd be like, oh, what's there? And I'm like, well, it's hard to explain. And you didn't, now you walk through an airport, you go out of town, you wear a Chiefs hat or a Royals hat or something like that, and they'll engage you. They'll let you know what they think about your town, which means we're A, popular, or B, completely under their skin and they hate us. That's largely the Chiefs. We're seeing that in the media this year with Chiefs predictions. There's a lot of haters out there. Most of America is ready for the Chiefs to fall flat on their face. They don't like the Chiefs, but that's because they have another team that they do like. That means there's 31 other fan bases that don't like the Chiefs. Remember, as Chiefs fans, you hated Tom Brady. You hated Peyton Manning. You hated John Elway. You hated a lot of quarterbacks and teams through the years that you don't really have the hatred for anymore. Do you hate the Patriots like you once did? No. You don't even hate Tom Brady like you used to. And he beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It doesn't take long for the haters to go away. The winning has to end. But right now for Kansas City, between Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis, all these Hollywood stars that we have, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, the biggest star in show business, all of these things are great for our town. You know what it says sort of inherently, under the surface a little bit, beneath the surface? It says it's kind of a cool place. Look at all the cool people that are from there, of there, whatever. We're not Nashville. We're not. We don't have the music scene, the art scene. We don't have the industry is not here. We have not put good laws in Kansas or Missouri yet to open up to film in a big way. You can film here, but you saw Ted Lasso's from Kansas. He would have loved to have gone to Shawnee Mission West High School, I feel sure, and put that in Ted Lasso. But Kansas filming is so expensive in Kansas, it's ridiculous. They've blown wonderful opportunities in Kansas with this one show because they don't have film industry tax credits. Missouri has some. They're not as good as Georgia or Oklahoma or Texas or some of these other places, but we should get with it. if they're going to pounce on this thing, and the Chiefs own their own movie studio now, and Mark Donovan's the president of a movie studio, the Chiefs are starting a documentary today on ESPN called Chiefs Kingdom that the Chiefs movie studio, again, this is a movie, not a real documentary. It's not real news. It's fake news. But it'll be fun to watch. You're going to love it. You're going to love it because it's written, produced, edited, and directed for you to love. You're going to love it. All right? Other fans aren't. They're going to hate it. But the Chiefs are making this programming, and it's going to be exactly like they want it to be. But if they're going to have a movie studio, even if they're making Hallmark movies around here, we should have tax credits for these things. It should be an industry that we have. Kansas City's become a cool place, and Taylor Swift's a big part of that. And I thank her and appreciate it. She's part-time. I don't know how many nights a year she sleeps here or lives here or whatever, but it's a bunch. It's a whole lot. If she's not on tour, it's going to be a whole lot. And it screams, hey, Kansas City's okay. It's okay to be there. I like that. Here's Steven and KCK on Uncanceled KCMO Talk Radio. Hi, Steven. How are you today?
Hey, Kevin, I promise I won't hang up on you.
Thank you.
I think I can make that promise.
Thank you.
That's an interesting thought. I think we have more celebrities per population, big celebrities, than almost any quote unquote flyover country. I've often thought that we have an amazing amount of folks that are in the business that are, Paul Rudd, Jason Sudeikis. I mean, we have probably at least 10, 15, 20 that are big hitters. Maybe it's just a defense attorney in me. I'm gonna try and play a little devil's advocate for Taylor Swift. I think all of what you said is factually correct. All of that is, and then maybe a little bit of witchcraft thrown in from the other caller, where she's got one of the songs to alludes to it. But I'm thinking that I was watching that interview. She sounds like an 18th century housewife. She just disconnects when she gets home. She doesn't want to do social media. She doesn't want to do messages. She has people around her who are getting a lot of heat for not intervening with Kamala Harris, with not intervening.
Right, but what we heard, Stephen, what we heard from Taylor Swift on this podcast, we've never heard before. This was a new Taylor Swift. It used to be anti-men. She complained and hated on men. She's had the political run of about 5 years where she said all the things about abortion and LGBTQ plus and racism and Trump and all these other things. So she's a chameleon, all right? Every one of us evolves. I'm willing to wait and see if this is real or if that was just an act last night, because I don't know.
Here's what I think happened. Now, I'm just an old country lawyer, so what do I know? Well, my Matlock sense tells me that Travis has rocked her world, that she's never really dated a man, a real man. She's never really, she doesn't know about being with a real partner.
I got in trouble for saying this on my podcast 2 years ago or whenever this started, and I'm gonna say it in different terms, okay? After dating scrawny little, drunken, druggy, boy toy singers that are 5'6", she decided she wanted to wrap her arms and legs around a real man. All right? She went out and got her a redwood. Okay? This is a big, strong Hulk of a human being. And guess what? She loves it. She can't get enough of it. I don't think she's going back to the 128-pound singer boys.
I was trying to clean it up a little bit.
Well, I'm not, because we're going to play it real here. And if they got to fire me, they can fire me. But I know what she likes about Travis Kelce. That's easy.
And that can also change her entire perspective of life around. She may have only been in that woke cocoon of being with those male singers, and now she realizes there's an entire world around her that is probably better than that world that she was in, that is superior to that world. Well, and I'll give her a little bit of grace for that. I mean, she, like you said, she's on a journey here, man, and it looks like she's journeying over to Republican.
Okay, she grew up in
looking at that.
She grew up in Tennessee, country music area, conservative part of the country, all these things. There are signs that some of this was fake. All right. Do you really believe she didn't know what a first down was or what the markers were until she met Travis Kelce? That's not believable. I'm sorry. That's a lie. There's no way. There's no way Taylor Swift was 28 years old and didn't know what a first down was. I'm sorry.
Listen, Kevin, I know I sound like a defense attorney here, but you have to understand, she was probably creating all these songs and doing all this.
Stephen, I'm
artistry
asking you,
stuff,
do
know.
you believe her when she said she didn't know what a first down was or what the chains were on the sideline?
I'm not sure I believe her, but I'm willing to suspend my disbelief if she.
And that's what people do with celebrities they like. And you know what? We're all guilty of it because we do it with Trump. I do it with Trump. I suspend a whole lot of things that I think, well, that may be all BS and he may whatever, but it's Trump. So that's my guy. I'm standing by him. I get it. Taylor's not my thing, so I'm not willing to stand by and give her a free pass when she acts like she didn't know I didn't know anything about football. You're playing in football stadiums. You don't know anything about football. I don't believe it. Well, I'm sorry, I just didn't believe that part.
That's what she wanted to do last night. I mean, she is like you said, she is one of the best comedians in the world.
Talking to little girl fans that don't watch football, that love Taylor Swift, and said it's okay, girls, to like football because look at my man here. And I've learned, you can learn. You have to understand, she's always speaking in code to young girls. Always.
Yeah.
Always. That's the brilliance of her business.
She's expanded it now because she was trying to win over the middle-aged males by saying, well, I'm sure you don't want to see me right now, but she was dropping in that stuff about Xavier Worthy. And she was swinging me. I'm not a Swiftie, but she was.
Oh, you are a Swiftie.
I mean, she is good.
Oh, you're a Swiftie.
She is really good.
I'm counting you as a Swiftie. I'm going to send you a Taylor Swift shirt.
Yeah, we're good with Kid.
All right, buddy. Take care. Oh, he's a Swiftie, all right. And that's okay.
He got converted yesterday.
Of course. A lot. That's the whole point. She's promoting an album, and now let's get dudes, football fans, to listen to my music.
And I think it'll be a positive album compared to some of her last ones.
The last one was a real bummer. I think they say it's going to be more pop or rock or popular type music or something like that. So I'm all up for that. That would be more of a genre that I'd be interested in. And I'm not going to not listen. If she puts a good song out there, I'm going to listen to it. I'm not a channel changer. You know, a good Springsteen song comes on, I listen to it. But I've taken calls here about Bruce Springsteen. This audience is bad at that guy. He went overseas and badmouthed our president and our country. Well, she's done the same thing. And just because she's sleeping with your football player doesn't make her perfect. I can tell you that. 913-408-7957. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio, brought to you by our friends at bestofferkc.com. There's really only one way to go when you need to sell a house fast in Kansas City, and that's the people that have never once ever backed out of an offer. Once they give you the offer for the home, it stands, it's good, it's always good, okay? There have even occasions where they've purchased a house after they found out we may lose money on this thing because something underlying with the house was something they didn't know when they made the offer, but they stood by it. Who does that? Well, Mark Delatour and his team at bestofferkc.com are the folks that stand by you. That's right. When you want no hassle, no realtor, no showing, no repairs, no cleanup, bestofferkc.com. That's bestofferkc.com. 816-338-SOLD. That's 816-338-SOLD for bestofferkc.com, helping you leave the hassle behind.
You're listening to Kevin Kietzman Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM.
All right, Mark Van Sickle's been all over this Chiefs news today. It looks like Rashee Rice is going to be playing at least the first month of the season for the Chiefs, which is a surprise to many. What do we know, Mark, about what's happening and why this could be the case?
Yeah, it looks like Rashee Rice is going to be facing his disciplinary hearing with the NFL September 30th in New York. So, like you said, after the first 4 weeks of the season, he should be able to play in those 4 games as far as we know. And then after that, it'll be up to the league.
This is a huge deal, and I don't think they suspend him right away after those hearings. It may be a couple more weeks after that.
He'll have to appeal, right?
Yeah, and I mean, this is a big deal because the Chiefs play, I don't have the schedule in front of me. You may have it. They play four of their first 6 games are massive games. The Chargers game could be for the division title, the first game. I'm literally, like, if the winner of that game becomes the odds-on favorite to win the AFC West. So you've got that one. Then the Ravens come to town. They play the Lions, and there's one other killer team in there in the first 6 games.
They play the Eagles.
The Eagles, the home opener. The home opener. So it's Chargers, Eagles, Ravens, Lions, 4 of the first 6 games. And it might be 4 of the first 5 games. It'd be 4 of the first 6, I think. If he's playing those 6 games, that is a big, big deal. I asked you last week, I had a discussion with my buddies. Would you rather have the rookie left tackle playing in those 4 big important games, or the rookie left tackle Simmons replacement and Rashee Rice on the field? If you could only have one of the 2 players in those 4 games, who would you take?
Probably Rice.
I mean, it was an easy call for me. I want Rashee Rice out on the field. I need a weapon for Patrick Mahomes. There's no fantasy weapons out there. Okay, when you look at the fantasy football rankings, there's no real weapon out there for the Chiefs anymore. I mean, Travis Kelce's like the 9th tight end. Xavier Worthy's unproven, maybe the fastest guy in the league, but he's unproven. Until you see it and do it, you can't really count on it because we didn't see these guys last year do great things.
Hopefully Worthy can be that guy in year 2. That's what you're hoping, but you don't know yet.
What we know is Rashee Rice is as good, if not better, than everyone after he catches the ball. That he's a freak, that you can get it to him 7 yards downfield and expect to get 19 yards on that play because that's what he does. And sometimes he breaks it to the house. That's a big, big, big revelation for the Chiefs that Rashee Rice, it appears, will be available at the beginning of the season. Noah Cameron pitches for the Royals tomorrow night. John Anthony's been talking about that on some of the updates today. It is Players Weekend. Do you know what Noah Cameron is doing for Players Weekend in his appearance pitching for the Royals?
Is he going to wear his hometown high school jersey hat?
He is wearing his hometown high school cleats.
Oh, cleats. Yeah,
He's
can't
had
do
an
the hat.
artist from St. Joe Central create special shoes for him that he'll be pitching in tomorrow night at Kauffman Stadium against the White Sox from St. Joe Central. It was someone he knew from high school, but was 2 years apart, I think. And he doesn't live here now, but he's an artist now. And he's like, well, if I'm going to have somebody design my shoes, it needs to be a St. Joe Central artist. And the shoes are a complete homage to St. Joseph Central.
That's awesome.
No, it's really cool. And I think it's cool they let the players do that stuff on these weekends when they do. That's pretty cool. The Masters golf tournament has announced that it now has a private home program with official hospitality. You can sign up for a tour, go to the Masters, stay at one of their homes. It's catered. You can even get a chef. You can get all these different things. VIP tents, the Masters tournament for the whole week. What do you think the price is for one of their homes that they have?
For the whole week?
Yeah.
$50,000.
$219,000 for the week. It is for the wealthy only. Here's what they've done at Augusta National very quietly over the last decade. They're purchasing every house around Augusta National. They've bought everybody out. Now, some of those they've completely rebuilt and refurbished and turned into places that they can rent out and make money on. But mostly what they're trying to do is get access to land in case they need to expand or ever make an Augusta National a longer course. There's famously one cul-de-sac to the west side of Augusta National. They bought the entire street, every house on there, and an entire cul-de-sac. They bought like 23 houses, except for one person that won't sell. They want to take this and build it into more of like I don't know exactly what they have in mind, but it has either to do with practice area, hospitality, VIP experience, and all these other things. They want to expand what they have. Augusta National looks great on TV. It's totally landlocked. It might as well be in, okay, I think the best way to describe it would be like the old Overland Park area, like 75th and Metcalf where that Price Chopper just closed down. If you just put a golf course like right in the middle of there, that's kind of where it is. It's all real busy streets. There's a Hooters there, and the Hooters is closing. McDonald's, all Taco Bells, all that stuff. There's nothing nice around Augusta National. Nothing.
Is that where Jim Nantz lives, or is that a different?
I think he lives in Houston and Pebble Beach.
Okay, that's right.
But he is the voice of the Masters.
That's right.
He is definitely the voice of the Masters.
I was going to say, he's the one that's not selling, but no.
That's right. He's not selling. Jim Nantz is awesome. The Boston Celtics sale has closed at like $6.8 billion, but it's going to be worth $7.4 when it's done because there's some interest accrued over time. This thing's been taking a while. The ownership group of the Boston Celtics bought the team 22 years ago for $360 million and just sold it for $7.4 billion. Paul Edgerly is one of the owners. He's one of the minority owners. He's from Bain Capital. He is estimated to be worth $9.6 billion. His wife is said to be worth $5 billion. He met her at Bain Capital. She was also an investor. They got married. They both did the same thing with Mitt Romney and all those people and made all these billions of dollars. So they're worth about $15 billion. My personal belief, although it's not proven, is that Paul Edgerly owns more shares in the Royals than anyone. He's from Kansas City, Shawnee Mission North, went to K-State, then Harvard. He's a lot like David Booth, who we talked about yesterday. Mm-hmm. Local guy, goes to a state school, then goes off to a big business school and hits it big. And his money is with the Royals. So I think he's going to be the big investor along with the creative planning guys. If they come to 119th and Metcalf or 119th and Knoll with all that real estate, I think Edgerly's going to be involved in that in a big way. He just made a pile selling his Celtic stocks. That's Uncanceled. The Vince Show is coming up next. Thanks for listening to KCMO Talk Radio.